Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, we take a look at everything I made in February 2025. Oh, so many pretty things. Gorgeous prints.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
My favourite part of making these Everything I Made episodes is putting it it's a pain to get everything out because some of them are all in different storage boxes or in different places. But putting them all in colour order is like my favourite thing. Anyway, so this is the first one I made. It's a jacket mock-up for Burda 6120 and it's a good pattern. It's got extra thin sleeves. So I know some of you absolutely hate thin sleeves. So if you do, but this is actually pretty easy. And of course I did it reversible because it's just easier. Like doing all the facings, the little fussy bits that keep all your raw seams hidden. I just think it's easier to do a reversible jacket. That way you have two jackets. They only take up one hanger and, it basically takes the same amount of time. So as I said, this is Burda 6120. But if you don't like slim sleeves, the ultra slim sleeves, then I would highly recommend that you go for Burda 6123, which is a dolman sleeve jacket. Dolman sleeve just means that the body of the jacket and the sleeve are all cut out in one. So there's one front piece, you cut out one left, one right, and then there's this massively giant back piece, which I cut on the fold. And it's super awkward to cut out. But once you've cut it out, you literally just have to sew the three pieces together. And dolman sleeves, they're sort of baggy, a little bit baggier on the bicep area. So if you hate the ultra slim ones, then Burda 6123 is quite easy, simple to make, but also produces a beautiful jacket. The latest one that I did was aqua on one. It was reversible cotton one and was aqua on one side and 1960s floral print on the other side. I absolutely love it. But I've also got loads of tweed ones. Anyway, so this is me pointing out that the next video I did was of my dark green tweeds, and I haven't made a tweed jacket in absolutely months. This one is actually cotton. I made this in, I think it was 2010, or I remember first wearing it in January 2011, so I must have made it, and the beading takes ages to do, so I must have made it in 2010. Anyway, the next video that you saw was my dark green tweeds, and every time I just look at that footage, it makes me want to get out I do have a few green tweeds left. Most of them I have used up because I just love green so much. Anyway, so the next jacket that I made is based on the mock-up that I just did of Burda 6120, except on this one, because I want to bead into it, instead of using the ultra slim sleeves of like the smaller size, the mock-up that I made was a size 8, but it's sort of a true size 6. And the largest size in that pattern was an 18. So I swapped out the the sleeve holes, or they're called sleeve side, and the sleeves for an 18 because the sleeve hole has to match the sleeve actual. Otherwise, so you can't just switch in a sleeve. You have to, if the sleeve doesn't fit correctly, you have to go up a size and then do a bunch of other alterations. So anyway, I made this one, and as you can see, I changed the neckline to make it cover my chest, and also I cropped it a bit because I only had 1 yard of this this silver fabric. It is fashion width, but I was sort of mocking it up to see what I can get, if I can get 2 boleros out of 1 yard of quilting cotton, because I love the prints in quilting cotton. I know it's uncool and it's unfashionable to say you like quilting cottons at the moment, but I don't really care about fashion. what's trendy and what's not. Look at this. This is a quilting cotton. Isn't it adorable? When it was just a piece of fabric, oh, this is me showing you that it's got 2 layers of structure in there. So that's why the sleeves stick out so much. Anyway, this was a really, really beautiful piece of fabric, but it had these ghost flowers, these sort of whitey blue flowers, and which sort of weren't the greatest thing about it. But I made sure that the center front doesn't have any on there, and oh my gosh, it looks even better as a made up jacket than it did as a piece of fabric. I'm so happy with it. And yeah, once it has the weight of the beading, the sleeves will sit down and sit like normal kimono style sleeves, but at the moment it looks a little bit weird. But I love the colours in it. It's sort of got denim, teal, greens, and also a couple of different pinks and reds in there. So I don't know when I'm going to use what colour beads I'm going to use to bead it. It's going to be gorgeous because it's just such a beautiful print. Next we have Rainbow Raindrops. This is another really, really beautiful print. So years ago, I bought 2 yards of this fabric, and I also had a couple of other colourful raindrops or colourful spots fabrics, and I put them all together and I made this very 1970s Valentino inspired dress. And then last year they had this sale and of like fabrics they were trying to clear, and they had this Rainbow Raindrops fabrics, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to buy a yard of it so I can make a matching jacket. And yeah, it's the most beautiful fabric. I just love it so much. Like, I love colors. I love like stomping in puddles, and I love rainbows. And basically, I'm just really pathetic. Well, it's not that. I just like things that are adorable, like things that you can just give you joy. Like, I don't know. I just like them. Anyway, so, and the design element on the back, I did the outline first in transparent red sequins, the large ones, and I was going to fill it in with the same large transparent red sequins, but I don't know, because the raindrops, you can sort of see them through the transparent red, so I was like, should I use solid red beads, should I use transparent? So I ummed and ahed and just left it as the outline for a bit. So I started working on the rest of the jacket, and when I did the silver jacket with the green sequin, I used green beads, and it's sort of distracted from just the colours and the shapes. So when I did this one, I used clear seed beads to anchor each sequin on. Because they're so big, you need at least 2 on there. You can't just stitch it. You've got to have a bead holding it down. And yeah, but the problem with this is you need to use green when the beads you're using are clear glass. You can actually see the threads. So on the green ones, I had to use green thread. On the red ones, I had to use red thread. And oh my gosh, it was like join the dots. And so I had to be like, okay, I'll do with this bit of thread, I'll do these 7 red ones, and then with this bit of thread I'll do all these mauve ones. So it was really, really complicated. I got there eventually. You sort of get into the rhythm eventually. It was really frustrating at the beginning because you were like, I've got enough thread to do one more, but like if you have a mauve thread but the last mauve one is out of distance, it was really frustrating. But anyway, and then so with the design feature on the back, I ended up going with a mix of solid and like opaque red beads, as well as some transparent ones. The transparent ones are shiny and they look really good at night, and the red ones, the opaque ones, they just cover the darker the blobs of color. So that's why I sort of did a mix. It's just more interesting to your eye if there's a mix of things in there, and I really love this. So yeah, there's still a few bits, like I sort of ran out of sequins, so there's a few bits where I need a few more sequins, and also I was just so over like constantly changing my threads. It was just really, it was technically a demanding jacket to make, but it's mostly finished. And you can see how once they're beaded, the sleeves sit down much more. These are only sequins, not full beads. Sequins are technically a type of bead, but they're much more lightweight. So the sleeves on the other kimono style jackets, like this one here, will sit beautifully once they've got beads on them. So this is just another old-fashioned full rose, and I love how it's the palest pinks and these really, really deep reds, the scarlet in the middle. It's so beautiful. And the leaves, rose leaves, are sort of olive, khaki, and this rusty color. It's really beautiful. I've got beads in all those colors, so I don't know whether I'll do pinks and scarlet, or like all the different types of greens and like khaki olives through to browns dripping down the edges. And the last kimono sleeve style jacket that I made in February was, I bought this Very Hungry Caterpillar fabric in 2021, I think, at the end of year sales. Like, I just started my channel, and because I pretty much just had tweeds, and I was making tweed jackets, but they had a sale, and I think it was then, or maybe it was, anyway. So it's one of the first cottons I'd bought in such a long time, and I used a lot of it I think I might have bought 2 yards of it originally, and then I used like 1.5 yards in a layer cake dress. So I only had half a yard, and so I had to use a different fabric for the back. I'm going to do a giant piece of watermelon on the back, and yeah, so it doesn't really match, but I was originally going to put flowers over the whole thing, because obviously caterpillars don't really eat junk food, they eat flowers. So I was going to cover the whole thing in flowers, but I've since decided I'm just going to put white beads over the whole thing, and then a big piece of watermelon on the back. I used to love that book when I was a kid, and yeah, I think the illustrations are just so pretty. There's another Very Hungry Caterpillar fabric that's got just him and apples going in and out of red apples. It's really, really pretty. So if that one ever goes on sale, I'm definitely buying 1 yard of that, and I'll make 2 boleros. But this one is super cute. I'm going to do white beading on. If you know my lobster jacket, how it's got little stacks of 3 beads all over the whole thing, I'm going to do that, but just with white beads, and maybe some other medium and large size white beads to break up the little spikes of beads. And then the last things that I made in February 2025 were the 2 jackets from the watermelon fabric. I didn't quite have enough fabric. I think they must have cut it slightly shorter. So the back of one of them is pink. If I had my time again, I would just do both backs short, like really cropped, so that I could get them both out of the fabric, because I don't really like the pink back. At the time, I was like, yeah, whatever. But now it really irks me. So yeah, I made those 2 jackets and did all the hand finishing. It's all the hand sewing that takes the longest amount of time, but that's the thing that makes them good jackets. So, I mean, also, because I'm going to bead them, I have to cut out 3 layers of fabric, not just one. Like cutting out, everyone complains about cutting out each of or how long it takes to cut out all the pieces, and I'm like, yeah, I have to cut out 3 of everything, because I do so much beading. There's 2 layers of net as the structural layer, and then you have to match them all together and pin them precisely, and then you have to be a little bit more careful when you're sewing with your machine, because yeah, all those layers, you've got to keep them all together all the time. So it is a bit finicky. And then, of course, doing the hand stitching without any of the stitches showing on the outside, it does take time, but it's so completely worth it. Like, they look so cute. And I didn't do this beading until the next month in March, but I'm so proud of it that I have to show it to you. So I did a watermelon on the back of each of them. This is the regular size one. Actually, it's a little bit big. The first one I used, like, the watermelon pips are leaves, black leaves, and then there's magenta butterflies, and in the silver and the green there's also these butterflies and leaf shapes and heart shapes and all different novelty ones. And then in the second one I'd used up all the novelty ones, so I just went with the standard round shape sequence, but it's still pretty cool. And oh my gosh, this larger one took just so long to do. In a second I'll show you the two of them together. Yeah, so on the second one, once I did the big piece of watermelon, then I added pearls over the whole thing, the glass pearls, and then that wasn't quite enough, so I added some sequin as well, and it looks fabulous during the day, and at night you can see all the sequins, so it looks extra bling at night. And see, when I step back like this, you can see the absolute difference between the two sizes of the watermelons. I think the smaller one, well, the regular size one, is probably more appropriate for the bolero style jackets that I'm making at the moment. So I'm going to do, I've got lots more sequins, and I just bought some more of the pale pink. So yes, there's definitely more. The design features on the back of several other jackets will be watermelon slices, because I just think they're so beautiful. They're so bling, ridiculously bling, but I like them. Anyway, that is it. That is everything that I made in February 2025. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've been inspired to use some fabrics that you might not have thought of before, because there are some gorgeous quilting cottons, and oh my gosh, this just looks like a stained glass window to me. I love all the colors. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy sewing.